Hey everybody, welcome back to The Stuff of Legend. My name is D'Lo, and I've got another video for you, and I've got a lot of topics I want to cover, so I'm going to try to keep it brief, keep it to the headlines, and I'll give you guys the gist of what it is that I have gathered from these, and I have linked everything down below so you can obviously do the research for yourself. We're going to kick off with one that I was really interested in, but as soon as I saw it, I knew that there was something fishy about it, so I didn't cover it immediately, and now I'm glad I didn't because I think it's proven to be more hype than actual fact. It's been more fiction than fact, and so we'll cover that. We've got a lot to talk about. Ezra Miller being in trouble. Doctor Strange 2's director discussion happening there, and an announcement. Also, Hulk is supposed to be in SheHulk. This has been discussed a few months ago, but now again is coming up once more. And I think it's more substantial to talk now than it was then. Hulk movie pitch as well has also been rumored, and we'll get into that. And I'll give you guys a pitch of my own, maybe, and we'll see how that goes. Also, live action Ahsoka. Again, I think this is also spoken a little too quickly. We'll talk about that. But there's plenty of articles buzzing around discussing it as if it's already confirmed. And I kind of called it on this one, but we'll go ahead and talk about that when we get there. And Fantastic Four is yet again making the rounds in rumor mills. So let's go ahead and start off this discussion. What's up, people? So first thing is first. Actor Ezra Miller linked to video that appears to show woman being choked. You'll notice that this article from NBC News is very different in the headline than most others, where it'll say Ezra Miller, choked a fan and threw her to the ground or something like that. It's usually very violent in the nature of how people have been reading these headlines or the way that the headlines have been written. In this case, I liked this article because it takes a much more neutral approach, because for anyone who actually watched the video, I can't find it right now. I think it's been taken down, probably due to the nature. It's been very controversial. But that being said, watching the video, it doesn't look like the woman is actually in any harm. So we'll talk about this right now. I won't spend a lot of time on this. In fact, I'm going to give you guys the gist, but there's plenty of funny memes that have come out from this. When I saw this, I think I saw this on April 5th, which is when I think most of the headlines had already come out and blasted out. Most people were seeing it around the 5th, or were hearing about it by the 5th, 4th or 5th. And what happened here was basically that he's at a bar. I think it was in Iceland, and what took place was a buddy was having a video, was recording a video of Ezra Miller and this girl who appears to be a fan. And it says, all you hear in this 7-second video, very short clip, it says, Ezra Miller goes, "Oh, you want to fight? That's what you want to do?" To this woman who appears to be jokingly preparing herself for a fight, and she's smiling. And the man, Ezra, then grabs the woman by the throat and throws her to the ground. At this point, the person filming says, "Whoa, bro," and stops shooting, and the footage ends abruptly. So it's clearly like a fake. It looks like a fake fight from the video, but when you read the headlines, you're like, "Oh crud, we've got another Amber Heard situation going on." And so that's kind of what people jumped on and was immediately like, okay, they're going to recast The Flash. Is the Flash movie even happening? We don't know. Apparently it still is. It's taking forever. They rewrote it 4 times. New directors times 3. So who knows when or if it will actually come out. I think it will eventually. But here's the gist of it. You have to read the finer details to get what's going on here. So police said they were unaware of any injuries, and police would not confirm that Miller was involved, and said they were not called to the scene and no one had been arrested or placed in custody of the incident. If someone had gotten hurt, you think the police would have been called, right? Well, take a look at this finer detail. Variety reported that the incident took place around 6 p.m. on April 1st. There we go. So this video uploaded on April 1st, which we all know is an April Fool's holiday. The lady in the video clearly laughing, smiling, even as she's being held by right here and brought down to the floor. She doesn't appear to be in any real danger, doesn't appear to feel threatened, doesn't look threatened. Ezra looking like he's just having some fun with her. At worst, they might have been drunk and just kind of like fooling around. And at best, which it clearly appears to be, being that there was no police report, that it was just an April Fool's joke. And that is the end of that. So if you're wondering, oh, is Ezra Miller fired? Is he going to be let go? No, he's not. He won't be. If he's let go, it's because the project is failing. That's what I'm thinking. If you're thinking he's not going to be the Flash anymore, that's very possible, but it won't be because of this video. This video was an April Fool's joke that honestly wasn't even bad. Obviously, you can't go around choking people, but like this image here, this is really funny. So someone tweeted this and said, Ezra Miller meet and greet 2020, and they show this image. Oh my gosh, that was so good. It's funny. That's from the SpongeBob movie, if I'm not mistaken. Really, really funny. So, but that's that. So if you guys were curious about Ezra Miller and the Flash situation, and is he fired, is he not fired, what's the drama? I can't even find the video right now. I'm pretty sure it's been taken down everywhere. Probably had his lawyers, get on there. Oh, you can't share the video. It's defamation or whatever. But yeah, that's the case. So this is what it appears to be, an April Fool's joke. Don't take it too seriously. And if you're on the internet, don't find yourself caught misunderstanding the situation. It appears to be an April Fool's joke. There was not even a police report filed in a very public area in broad daylight with a high-profile actor. That would clearly have made the news. So next up, we have Doctor Strange 2's original director still approves of Sam Raimi's hiring. I would like to point out that this is a nice thing. This is good news here. It's always good when there's unity amongst the individuals making a project. That speaks well of that project and the people that are working on it. But that's not what this was about. I wanted to show this to you guys so that you guys could get the confirmation that the news based on Sam Raimi joining SpiderMan has shifted from is in talks to direct and replace Scott Derrickson to now has officially replaced Scott Derrickson. Scott Derrickson will remain on as a producer, but Sam Raimi will be directing. And I've linked that down below so you can check that out too. Here's the tweet from Scott Derrickson saying, I've worked with Sam Raimi, one of the nicest people I've known in the film business as a director. Excuse me. A true living legend. What a great choice to take over Doctor Strange. And so he reposted his post about Sam Raimi because people were just asking about it. How do you feel about being replaced? And he's just saying, like, look, they made a great choice picking Sam Raimi. And Sam Raimi actually did, in fact, call back to Doctor Strange in the original Spider-Man trilogy. It was funny when J. Jonah Jameson... actually, I also wanted to show you guys, if you guys will hold for just 1 second, I wanted to show you guys a Funko Pop that I got. I wasn't going to show this one off, but I'm going to do it because I think it's pertinent to what we're talking about. Sorry to keep, I usually don't get up from these things, but I wanted to show you guys a couple of these. So first up, check this out. This is a J. Jonah Jameson from thedailybugle.net from Far From Home. So if you guys haven't seen that movie, shame on you. You've had plenty of time. I don't know what you're waiting for. It's on DVD, streaming. It's already made its rounds through the theatrical run. So I don't care if it's spoiling for you. This is incentive for you to go see it. You need to get around to seeing that. But this is Pop in a Box. Far From Home, J. Jonah Jameson. They got J.K. Simmons to play J. Jonah Jameson, and then the Morbius trailer and images from Sony's Venom as well. Both of those tie back into the Sonyverse, as well as J.K. Simmons tying back into the Sonyverse and the original trilogy. And then the Spider-Man that was on the wall art in Morbius was Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. And now Sam Raimi's directing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Keywords being multiverse, not to mention Far From Home, which is a Sony-made film in the MCU, was also having to deal with the multiverse. And that was one of the lies that Mysterio told Peter Parker, but was not confirmed to be completely false. The fallacy was that he was from an alternate universe, but that doesn't mean the multiverse doesn't exist. In fact, we know it does. And so this is also something I was thinking would be a very distinct possibility in the near future. Being that Sam Raimi's Doctor Strange could and would probably have a crossover or a cameo or something with Venom at some point soon, given that we know Venom and Morbius will be crossing over with MCU Spider-Man very, very soon, hopefully. It's really cool to see all that they're doing here, but I wanted to show you guys a couple of those Funko Pops that I thought would be really cool. And when I see them side by side along with this article, really helped me to kind of envision what we could be looking at as far as the multiverse of Spider-Man movies in the MCU, plus Venom, plus Morbius, that sort of thing. So really, really cool, really exciting, and it sends my brain into a really theorizing or theoretical way of thought. So I like to imagine what could be, especially being that Sam Raimi of the original Spider-Man trilogy gets to make the Multiverse of Madness in the MCU. So many possibilities. All right, enough of that. Really, really exciting. But Bruce Campbell expresses interest in playing a villain. So Bruce Campbell says this. He says, surely there must be some character to challenge the good doctor. And so it's possible Bruce Campbell might want to find himself playing someone like, I don't know, Mephisto, or who knows? Maybe Bruce Campbell would be gunning for a role like, I don't know, Doctor Doom. You know, he could be wanting to be playing another sorcerer or another alternate Sorcerer Supreme or a runner-up to Sorcerer Supreme. Who knows what Bruce Campbell would want to play, but I would love to have Bruce Campbell back because he was a really fun character to have in the original Spider-Man trilogy. So I like that. And what do you guys think about that? Let me know. Don't want to stay too long on these topics because we got a lot of them to get through. Let's go to the next topic of the day. Next topic of the day is Mandalorian. Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka casting is not official yet. I told you so. So I am not one of the people that say I didn't want to tell you I told you so, or I don't like to tell you I told you so, or I do enjoy a lot saying that. I like saying that because truth matters. And so in this, I pointed out previously with Ahsoka and Rosario Dawson that I think Rosario Dawson is a great choice for an adult Ahsoka in live action. I think she's got the right facial structuring. I think she's got a skin color that would match really nicely, really easy to turn into an orangey color for Ahsoka. I think makeup-wise, it'd be easier than getting someone that was considerably lighter or considerably darker. I'm not sure. I'm not a makeup expert. I'm just suggesting that she's got a very bronze skin tone, and I think that would go well. She's got similar, like, big eye shapes and similar face features. I think it'd be good. And she's a marvelous actress. I really, really like that, and that's not a pun because she has played multiple Marvel characters before as well as DC. Just happened to be the case. That being said, she has been confirmed for the project, but I believe she is not officially. So it says here, Rosario Dawson says her casting as Ahsoka Tano on The Mandalorian is not official yet. Last month, the actress made headlines when word got out she was joining the hit Disney Plus original as the live-action Ahsoka, a character best known in her role for Clone Wars, blah, blah, blah. She expressed interest multiple times over the past few years. She's definitely been fan-casted. Basically, Dawson has to play coy when discussing the topic. Let me see. I think I might have skipped something important here. Basically, it says this. news of Dawson's alleged casting was not accompanied by an official announcement. It was purely rumor based on excitement for the role and people fan casting kind of just snowballing that into a significant wish list. And it was never verified by Disney or by Jon Favreau or by, I believe, Dave Filoni. So we got to be very careful about when we see a headline, we don't just run with it. That's the biggest thing, is always read past the headline. Get through the entire article. That's going to be critical for discerning what is rumor, what is true, and what is, I guess, intentionally misleading. Sometimes you find that to be the case. Sometimes you'll find articles that are saying something is true without verifying because they heard a rumor and they believe it 100%, and they're telling you how excited they are about what they believe, but it's not verified. It's not proven. So that's why we have to read past the headlines. Know for yourself or you don't know. You know what I mean? Just because someone else knows doesn't mean that you know, and it doesn't mean you should take that at its word. Always question, always do the research. So that is really important. So it says, here, I think this is also it. In an interview with Variety, Dawson was asked about the possibility of joining The Mandalorian. The actress made sure to clarify her casting isn't official right now and thanked the fan support for supposedly making it happen. That's not confirmed yet, but when that happens, I will be very happy. I'm very excited for that to be confirmed at some point. She sounds very optimistic. It sounds like maybe she has been confirmed, except not verified, not publicly confirmed, because Disney keeps everything secret. Maybe they didn't want the world to know that Ahsoka Tano was going to be in season 2. Maybe that's the big reveal for season 2, that Ahsoka is going to help get, the child to their people, or just help them realize maybe there isn't a swath of Yodas to return them to, of Yoda's species. So that would be a big deal if this is the surprise. They would not want her to announce that. So obviously they wouldn't go public with that knowledge. If she knows it, maybe she let it slip. Maybe she did a Tom Holland and ruined the surprise. But who knows? And that's the point, is that we don't officially know. We can suggest and surmise. We can speculate based on the excitement, based on what she's said so far. But what she's saying here is that it's not confirmed. So she cannot officially confirm that, and it has not officially been confirmed. So I'm still really excited. I hope they do more with this. I would like to see live action Ahsoka. I would like to see Rosario Dawson play her. Think it's a great casting. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Let's move on to the next topic of the day. Next topic of the day is Mark Ruffalo pitches a Hulk movie set between Avengers films. Now, this headline it promises more than it actually delivers, unfortunately. So you can read the gist of this, and it just talks about Edward Norton, Joss Whedon, what the timeline of the Infinity Saga, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. We're past the entire Infinity Saga at this point. But what we know about Black Widow and about Captain Marvel is that the MCU is going to be making movies taking place in the past between some of these major events, so that they can fill in the gaps, build characters where they need them according to age and timeline, that sort of thing, to make them relevant and fun, so we can have more fun with these stories. Because that's, unfortunately, they did kind of like Star Wars, like where you build this this massive world-changing storyline, this fandom, and it takes place in a continuum. You get to the end of that saga, and then if you want to keep the money rolling in, you've got to keep creating stories. But we're all kind of like enjoying the A to Z, and we don't want to go from A to Z, then have to go A B, A C, A D, and then start another alphabet after that. We're not as excited about that second alphabet. We're still kind of just like, oh, okay, that was great, that was fun. And then now they're setting films back inside that timeline so they can draw off the excitement of that continuum and see how things play out that way. That's why Black Widow is kind of going back in time, not just because of certain spoilers, but because of, actually, I don't care for spoilers. She died in Endgame, okay? So if you didn't see Endgame, sorry, it's too late for you. You haven't seen it because you didn't want to see it. That's the only excuse. It's on Disney Plus. Or it's on Netflix, isn't it? Or it's on one of the two. And if you don't have Disney Plus, I know you still have Netflix. So you definitely had a chance to see it if you don't know that. But this is kind of where we're at right here. So let me see. We have this. Blah, 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 blah. This is the quote, okay? So speaking with Variety, Mark Ruffalo laid out his idea for a potential Hulk standalone in the MCU. Instead of chronicling what the future has in store for the character, he wants it to feature what he is doing between Avengers movies. Basically, that line said more about what he's saying than what he's about to say. So check this out. Mark Ruffalo's words. He says, "There's an idea that I think could be really interesting. We've never really followed him, Hulk, or Banner, into his life. He's always kind of off on the side. He's like a Rosencrantz and Guildenstern of the Avengers. It'd be an interesting to fill in all the blanks about what happened to him between all these movies." Frankly, I agree with him. I do agree. I just think that this barely constitutes a pitch, because all he's saying is, can't we get more Hulk stories? Like, can't we get a story about the Hulk? It could take place between the other Hulk movies. For instance, from the end of, I think it was Age of Ultron. From the end of Age of Ultron through to, what was the film? It was Age of Ultron through to Thor Ragnarok, I think it was. Yeah, I think it might have been Thor Ragnarok. There was no Hulk during that time. Hulk was gone. He was off on his own, presumably. I mean, he went straight from there all the way through to I'm forgetting the name of the place, but it's the Grand Master's place in Thor Ragnarok, where there's the contest of champions and that sort of thing. So that place, I'm forgetting the name. It bothers me when I forget these things. That place, that we have a missing timeline, and they explained it in Thor Ragnarok by saying, I was Hulk the whole time. You know, like, I don't even remember what happened. It was just him being the Hulk through that entire time. And frankly, the only Hulk story I would really want where he does not turn back into Banner would have to be where if Shield sends in Wolverine to stop him, and you have a Hulk versus Wolverine movie. In fact, if you wanted to get around Universal, you could even make it a Wolverine movie where Wolverine is called in by Nick Fury specifically, Weapon X from the Weapon X program, which originated as the Captain America Super Soldier program. You could have it start that way, where it builds up Wolverine as an individual, not as part of the X-Men, not as part of maybe even Alpha Flight. I mean, you could, but you start him out in a Hulk standalone fight where he's called in as the final defense for Hulk's rampage because he can't turn back into Banner, and then Wolverine has to try to take down the Incredible Hulk. That, to me, would be the perfect setup, because Banner would not remember it. He survives somehow, but he continues straight on to Ragnarok. And in the continuum, it would fit. I mean, you could make that story happen. You could even make it happen almost immediately after Age of Ultron. It would be pretty awesome to see that take place. I would personally love to see that type of film, and it would make sense to have it between Infinity War and then now. But they do want to have, for instance, SheHulk take place after, and that's the next piece of news. So I'm going to jump to the next one, but it's still in the same family, so I'll keep it on the same video. But again, Hulk, people jumped the gun really quickly, suggesting that Hulk is going to be in SheHulk, when in reality, the earlier comments that were made were about Banner being in SheHulk. So they talked about Mark Ruffalo appearing as Bruce Banner in SheHulk. They never said anything about the Hulk. or him hulking out, probably for CGI and money effect, but also because I think that you would have to turn Hulk into a jobber for this, and I don't think anyone really wants to see that. She-Hulk is incredibly strong, but she's not stronger than the Hulk. She can probably hold her own, get close to that, but she won't beat the Hulk. Pretty much nobody outstrengths the Hulk. And I know what you're thinking. Thanos did. But it was because he punched him with an Infinity Stone. That's why. So, I think it was even the Power Stone, because I think it flashed purple, if I'm not mistaken. But check this out. So it says, there's nothing, this is Ruffalo. I'm giving you guys the gist. There's nothing completely at a place where it's a done deal. There's some talk of having Banner/Hulk show up in the Disney Plus series She-Hulk. If we come up with something good, that would be really interesting. Right now, that's about it. That's all there is on the table. So to me, what this says is that there was a lot of talk, there's a lot of wishful thinking and trying to speak. They say, as it said, speak truth to power. Basically, say it until it happens. Say it until you make it. That kind of thing. Just try to speak it into existence. And apparently, he's been told, hey, you got to reel it in a little bit and just clarify what we're doing right now. There's talks happening right now, but nothing official. That's the word we've got right now. So again, we don't have confirmation, but I would suggest it's not a stretch. It's not a stretch to think that he will be there. He clearly wants to be there. He said he wants to be there. And if he said he wants to be there and it'll make their show money and it'll help their show kind of get off the ground by having, and I don't like the word, but you say clout, right? I mean, it's like it draws more attention, more validity to that property, which I think it'll do well. I think it'll stand on its own. But I do think that it makes sense. Just put him in there. I say you put him in there as Banner. I don't think we need to see the Hulk in there with She-Hulk. Just have Banner there. I think that's all you're really going to need, because he's the rational one that'll be able to talk with her through all of that, all of the struggle of coming into those powers, what it'll be like for her. I don't know. I think it'd be good. Excuse me. All right. So we have a couple of comments. I want to take these comments before we move on. And so let's hang tight here for a second. We have a couple more of these subjects, these topics, and then we'll get back. We'll wrap it up at the end. So right now, comments, then topics, then wrap it up at the end, and keep those comments coming in. All right. So first up, we have Daniel's Hot Topic says, "Hi, Daniel. How are you doing? Hope all is well. Daniel, do you watch Castlevania, the Netflix animated series?" What's up, Daniel? Unfortunately, I do not. I have not seen that. And I think it's based off of a video game, if I'm not mistaken. I remember my old buddy, another Daniel actually, used to play it all the time. And so I used to watch him play from time to time. Whenever we were at his house, I'd bring over my Game Boy or whatever we had. I think it might have been a Nintendo 3DS or something like that. I don't remember. Anyway, I was probably playing Pokemon and he was playing Castlevania or something like that. But I remember seeing gameplay. Never really played it. Never played through the story. But if it's something you would recommend, I'll probably check it out. So let me know how you feel about that. Next, we have Manic Cam. He says, "I figured out movie with Tom Cruise, Eyes Wide Shut, the guy that came onto his wife, that was Jeffrey Epstein, the head guy at the SEX mansion. Tom Cruise played himself wife too." Wow, I didn't know that. Okay. So that's, and for just so you know, Manic Cam, thank you so much for dropping in these comments. For anyone else listening, I usually try to keep the subjects of these videos usually closer to movie and TV related stuff, as far as like the fiction and that sort of thing, because that's the stuff that I'm typically talking about here. If you want to talk about more politics, hit me up in the comments, and I'll try to keep those between like you and me, and people can join into those as well. Jeff Epstein is a monster, and there's a lot of news if you want to look him up. I'm with you 100% on this. Manic Cam, you and me have, I think you interacted with me in a comment section or something on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken, and we were talking about a lot of things in the news recently. There's a lot going on, and I'm with you, man. That guy. First of all, he didn't kill himself. That's common sense. But definitely look into that. If you guys don't know who he is or why that's a big deal, there's a lot that's going on right now that is just going over your head because it's not covered on the news. But you can find it if you do the research. So I'm with you there. I'm gonna look into that. So you say it's Eyes Wide Shut, and Epstein was in it. I'm gonna find that because I definitely want to know more about that. Okay, so, all right, thank you for that comment, and I will I'll follow that down the rabbit trail because I've got a little more time on my hands now, so I'm gonna do some research. Thank you for that. Daniel's Hot Topic says it's a really great series. You should check it out. Okay, I'll put that on my list. I'll watch that. I've got a few things I want to try to get to first, and then I will look into that one. So let's go ahead and jump into the next topic, and then if more questions come in, comments, then I'll take those as well. So next up, we have Daredevil, Vincent D'Onofrio, I don't know how to say that, and John Bernthal respond to recent Deborah Ann Wall comments. So this one's a little bit, it starts off like a little bit more of a bummer, and I'll tell you why, and then it gets into a kind of more positive. And I think it's important to show some positivity, show when people are lifting each other up and supporting each other, because that's always a good thing. So, if you guys hadn't seen Daredevil on Netflix, it's killer. You've got to see it. Apologies. It's rated TV mature for violence. I believe there's some cussing in there too. It is definitely an adult show, but I will say it is fantastic. It is an amazing show. It's one of my favorites. But unfortunately, the actress here, she plays Karen Page, and she's one of the main actresses. I had not seen her in anything up until this project, and I haven't seen her in anything after. And the reason I haven't seen her in anything after that is because after Daredevil and Punisher and the shows on the Netflix Marvel stuff that she was in, she wasn't able to find work, unfortunately. She just wasn't able to get roles, and it was a little bit depressing for her. That's the gist of this. She spoke candidly about insecurities that she's had after the series' cancellation. So after the series got canceled, she was really bummed, and she couldn't find an outlet, and she loves acting. She doesn't know who she is without acting. But what's cool is after she said that on I think it was a podcast, Vincent D'Onofrio tweeted and said, Deborah Ann Wall can play any part written for an actor to play. I think of her as being one of my favorite scene partners in my career because of her talent. Every actor depends on their scene partner. You'd be lucky to have her with you. Unstoppable, a gift to storytelling. And then John Bernthal, replying to Vincent D'Onofrio, says that's right. Or he says that right there is the truth. Big love to both of y'all. What an honor and joy to have rolled with you guys. Now, John Bernthal and Vincent D'Onofrio were amazing, brilliant, talented actors in the shows Daredevil and Punisher. They're just so good. I mean, and specifically in Daredevil, all three of these guys shine. Like their talent, their ability to act and convince you of their parts, even though like some of them are very dark. Like they've got scenes there that are like, oh my gosh, like the stuff that their characters go through and that you watch them have to work through is pretty deep stuff, and you buy it. Like it's not weak acting at all. Like you really get drawn in, and it's because the acting is so good. So I will say, and that's true of almost the entire cast. I don't recall anyone to me that stuck out as like, I don't believe that, or like, I didn't feel that. You feel it, like you really do. And so I will say that this very well could just be like fluffy support for a friend, but based on having seen the show, I can say I 100% believe this. She was really freaking good, and she was a great part of that show. So that's always nice, just to see them like stick up for one another, and you know, basically say like, no, if you've got a project, you need to put this person on here. Truly amazing, pleasure to work with. You're gonna only benefit from having her. So really cool. And she talks about how COVID-19 coronavirus, it shut down the economy. Movies are not being made right now. Like Hollywood is at a complete freeze pretty much. So that is also a deterrent right now, because no one's getting jobs. You see all of the actors are taking to social media right now to stay relevant. But it's pretty cool to see that they're still sticking up for one another. So, yeah, I like that. Anyway, let me go ahead and take a quick comment. Okay, so this was one of the comments from, it's piggybacking on the comment from earlier from Daniel's Hot Topics. He says, Castlevania, the Netflix animated series, is really great. You should check it out. I totally will. And then Manic Cam says, Tom Cruise, oh, and again, this is in reply to one thing he said earlier, about Eyes Wide Shut. He says Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman were in it. Okay, I will look that up because I'm fascinated. Dude, you should DM me about that kind of stuff, because I'm always looking for that kind of information, whether it's, you know, political, or if it's ethics, morality type of stuff. That kind of news, I do follow that as well. I follow a lot of kinds of news, especially like this movie news, but where movie news crosses over with morality, ethics, that sort of thing, the law in general, you can shoot that my way. I'm definitely looking for that kind of thing. So let me know about that. And next we have the Fantastic Four. Let me just go ahead and switch this over. So John Krasinski teases fan casting of him as Fantastic Four's Mr. Fantastic. So if you guys want, I have this link down below. I'm not going to play it for you here, but down below we have a video of him right here called SGN. It's called Some Good News. You can subscribe to this, and it is a channel that I believe John Krasinski has set up, where he does a news segment called Some Good News, where he pretty much just shares good news. And that's actually really nice. That's really good to have. It's not, it is news, I guess, but it's more or less just giving you something to feel good about in these harder times. And that, I think, I really appreciate, and I think you might as well. So check it out. This is an 18-minute long video segment that he does. I believe it's part of an ongoing series, if I'm not mistaken. 1.8 million subscribers to that channel. The reason why I think it's an ongoing thing is because he made a channel for it, not just a single video. So you can check this out, and it's pretty cool. But he does say for a second that there's a moment here where he's mentioned to be at like some sort of a superhero, and then he says that's pretty much the only time that anyone's going to really get to see him as a superhero. And then he gives this kind of like sarcastic Jim Halpert face. I won't play it for you, but you should check it out. Really cool, uplifting videos of like kids playing fetch with their dog and stuff like that. So it's like, you know, it's fun and it's lighthearted and it's family friendly. So that's great. Fun for the whole family, or just you. So you can check that out. He does mention just briefly in a sly way with that one slide that does not reference Mr. Fantastic, just him being a superhero, but clearly it's in reference to the countless times he's been mentioned as a hero, talking about playing the character. And then this, Marvel's Reed Richards trends following new John Krasinski MCU rumor. And this coming here saying the following: new rumors are swirling around the claim that John Krasinski has recently spoken with Feige, that's Kevin Feige, about getting involved in the MCU. These meetings, which are said to have taken place via video call, and so many meetings must these days, these meetings aren't thought to have been about any specific MCU project or contribution on his part, but the merest mentions of Krasinski's name and the MCU together has made Reed Richards the civilian name of the Fantastic Four's Mr. Fantastic trend on social media like Twitter. That felt like a run-on sentence to me. But regardless, I've seen plenty of news recently about what Ant-Man 3 could be. So Ant-Man and the Wasp, Ant-Man and, part 3 or whatever. The third Ant-Man film has been rumored to have like MODOK. It's been rumored to have the Fantastic Four. It's been rumored to start building towards a lot of different things. I think even the Young Avengers it was talking about plenty of crossovers. I don't have those in front of me, so I won't pull those up. But I don't know how these rumors are getting out, and it doesn't appear to be that these guys know either. It doesn't say, but I think it might have to do with the Ant-Man rumor that the Fantastic Four may make an appearance. But regardless, it's always good news, and I think this is again what we were talking about earlier. Saying what you want, putting what your desires are out there in the world so that hopefully they can be made. That's what I think a lot of these people are doing. I would like to see him get the role. I think he's great for the role. I would love to see him there with Emily Blunt as his wife playing Susan Storm. I think that's also a great pairing. I personally do enjoy that. I think there's also plenty of other people that could do it just as well, maybe better, maybe not as good. You don't really know before you get there, but I do think that this is not a bad idea. I think this is a very good idea, and everyone wants this to happen for the most part. There's plenty of people that have first picks that would be more ideal, but whatever. That's not the point. Point is, Marvel is clearly not oblivious to the fact that everybody wants him to play, because he himself has said it multiple times that he would definitely love to play the role. I am in favor. All those in favor, say aye. Aye? Okay, the ayes have it. All right. So that is pretty much the last of these topics. Let me go ahead and take the comments and hear from you guys what you think about this news. Do you want him to play Reed Richards? Do you want him to not? Do you have a different character in mind for him? Or would you prefer that he stay out of the MCU altogether? What is your opinions on this? Let me know in the comments down below so that I can hear from you. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and shift my screen now, and I will start taking comments from the side. Okay, so on the comments from Daniel's Hot Topics. Daniel, what's up, my man? You say, Loki TV series will look at Loki's struggle with identity. This sounds interesting. I hope the show goes back in production soon. Okay. I do think that the show will go into production soon. There's been a lot of talk in the news recently that the economy is looking at getting started back up in many places, not all across the United States right now. I think my location in California is probably going to be one of the last places, along with probably New York, to get back going, unless they decide to lift their social restrictions altogether. I'm not sure how that'll look, but unfortunately, we still have to wait and find out. But I am optimistic about these series continuing. It's interesting the choice of words here, and I feel like this might be a little bit of pandering, but they say struggle with identity. That'll be the process for Loki. I do think that the struggle with identity fits with what they've done with Loki in the past in a number of different ways. There's one way that I'd be a little bit bummed if they went this direction, because there was rumors people wanted him to do like Lady Loki, like the female version of Loki, but kind of give it a transgender spin. I think that would be not as fun. But I do think that struggling with the identity of good versus evil could also be something that would be really fun to explore. So, for instance, and this is where I think it's also again building into the Young Avengers, because the Young Avengers involves Loki having an identity crisis where he feels the guilt of everything he's ever done but has no memory of it. Thor has to fill him in, but he's been transferred into the body of his younger self. So he is a kid with the burdens of a past life, yet no memories of that past life, and he doesn't want to experience that type of a future for himself. So he becomes a good guy bearing the guilt of all of his past sins. So, and it's kind of his way to, I guess, serve like a self-imposed penance, where he goes, after having died, finds his sister, tricks her into giving him the location of the Book of Hell, strikes his name out. You guys know about like heaven and the Lamb's Book of Life, and you have your name on the book. If you're saved, you have your name on the book. There's been a lot of like stories and fictions written where if you have your name crossed out, you're no longer saved, that kind of thing. It's not real. That's not like theological, but with the with Loki, the same idea applies, but he went to hell, and because in the MCU his sister runs hell, he tricked her and struck his name out of the Book of Hell so he can no longer die. He can't stay dead. So he gets shot back to life, but he's transferred back as a child, as a youth, before many of his sins were committed. But he has the burden of all of them. So that's an identity crisis that I think fits the narrative of both the Young Avengers and an interesting plot twist for Loki. And I think that would probably be the more direct way to go. I will say it is very likely Marvel goes in the direction of like making him female Loki, but he's really a dude, and he's dude in a woman's body, woman in a dude. They're gonna do that thing. To me, that would not be a good storyline, I think, because it's just it doesn't sound like a fun story plot to me. But having it build into the Young Avengers is consistent with all of the other Disney Plus series, and it has a very specific reason for going in that direction with the story. So I think having that consistency will be good, because then it's going to be like the TV series for Disney Plus are going to have their own Infinity Saga build up towards Kang the Conqueror and whoever else is going to get mixed up in all this. If they want to do like a Nihilus or someone else, they could choose to mix multiple villains into the same plot stream and then go in that direction. I would like to see them go towards Young Avengers, but let me know what you guys have to say about that. Daniel's Hot Topic says, OMG, Sam Raimi will direct Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness confirmed. I hope Raimi could bring us back to his Spider-Man universe, bringing back Tobey Maguire. I 100% agree with you. I want to see Tobey back as Spider-Man. It would be awesome if he brought back Mark Webb's Andrew Garfield Spider-Man as well. They could do anything they want. Sam Raimi is in control of the MCU's multiverse, and he was directly responsible for what happened with the original trilogy. So, like, even though he isn't Mark Webb, he is not involved in Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. The possibilities are endless. And I'm sure that if he approached Andrew Garfield and approached Mark Webb about like, hey, we would love to do something, some sort of collaboration, or even show that your Spider-Man world still exists, I'm sure that they would be like, dude, absolutely, let the legacy continue, that sort of thing. It worked for Crisis on Infinite Earths, in a way. So, it would just be really cool to see what they could do there. Yeah, so I totally agree. That'd be really fun. Daniel's Hot Topic says, I hear that Lady Loki will be in the series. We see pics of her of the filming, but they are saying Lady Loki is the Loki that died in Avengers Infinity War. It's possible. I haven't seen those images. If you can, do me a favor, just shoot me those images, maybe on Instagram or something. I would love to see that. There was always, I believe her name, and I could be wrong, I thought her name was Enchantress. She looks like Loki. She looks exactly like a female Loki. except it's not Lady Loki. It's another she-witch that is infatuated with Loki, but he treats her like hot garbage. Like, he treats her like trash, doesn't give her the time of day. She's constantly fawning for him. She even chooses him over Thor, given the choice. But he doesn't give her the proper respect that I suppose she has earned. There's another character there that is a female. It's basically a carbon copy of Loki, just female, but it's not female Loki, separate. So there's another storyline where Loki becomes a woman, or he impersonates a woman, and that is what I think Marvel would be more inclined to do, based on what we know they're into. They're very into like social justice warrior stuff in the comics. They've been really trying to push the envelope and see how far they can go in live action with those types of themes. They're kind of inching their way towards that. So it would not be beyond them to do that and then try to make it a transgender type of plot. But I do think that there is a character, and I thought her name was Enchantress. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Looks exactly like female Loki, except I believe she has blonde hair. That's the only difference. Instead of black hair, she's got blonde hair. And same outfit, though. It's like green, that whole like Loki look. But she's in love with Loki. So that to me would be, I think, better, because it's not Loki. It's a totally different person. So then you could actually have a love relationship, some sort of Joker and Harley Quinn style relationship that is complicated, and it's you almost want it to succeed. You want him to open his eyes and see that there's someone out there that actually does love him almost as much as his brother, but he never gets there. That kind of thing could actually work really well in a story narrative for Loki and be really compelling. There's a lot of fangirls for Tom Hiddleston. There's a lot of fans of Tom Hiddleston, and the way that he's played Loki up till now is very empathetic, I suppose. You can feel for his suffering. You can feel for his struggle. They built him really well. He's the best written villain so far in the MCU, I think. And so I would love to see another character other than himself being a girl be there for him as another plot device and character that he can work with to feel and then reject love yet again. It'd be like Thor 2.0. So I'd really like to see that. So anyway, that's just my opinion on that one. But anyway, I'll continue to read these comments. Daniel's Hot Topic says, working alongside the alternate version of Loki that escaped with the Tesseract in Avengers Endgame. I agree. So I know that there's the two Lokis we've seen so far. There's the one that escaped with the Tesseract and the one that died in Infinity War. The one that died in Infinity War is the one I think is going to end up being with the Young Avengers. So because it, other than it not being, I think it was Adam Warlock that killed him in the comics, Loki planned his death. He planned to die, and he wanted to die in front of his brother so that he could prove himself to, even though all of his sins were committed in his life, he winds up being a hero in death. And that's one thing that was part of his plan, so that he could then go trick his sister to coming back to life, getting kicked out of hell permanently, and then coming back to the land of the living as unkillable. But then the plan backfires and he's stuck as a child, and that's when he becomes one of the Young Avengers. So I would like to see that happen, but maybe they're reworking it so that the Infinity War Tesseract Loki is the one that then goes back and changes things so that he can then go and visit hell, erase his name from the book of hell in the alternate universe where he's already dead, bring that one back to life, and then resume life on his own. So then there could be two Lokis, a good kid one and the bad one that's still the adult. So that to me sounds like what we might be getting. It's so complex. They've built it in a way where it leaves so many possibilities open that it's hard to say, and that's fun for me. So I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying not knowing, because then when we get to watch it, it'll still be a surprise, but I have a lot of fun speculating with you as well. So that's what I'm thinking. And then Daniel's Hot Topic says, Oh wait, no, we already read that one. Working alongside the. Oh wait, here we go. The MCU started with a shared universe. The DC TV series went with a shared multiverse. Now Marvel will build their shared multiverse as well. The future will be shared multiverses and crossovers. I think that for the most part we will find that to be the case because they've proven to make money. So you get a lot of viewership when you get people really excited about a character, their story, their friends, their families, and then other heroes that have backstories. You gain fan followings for each character, each program, each show, each movie. And then when you bring them all together, they all show up at the theater for that big event. So you sell a lot of tickets. It's like WWE or a sports event. If you have a team that sells out an entire stadium, right? Like you have, for instance, let's just say, I don't know, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and they're let's say they're having a really great season. They're doing really well. They've got a lot of fans. They're selling out the stadiums. And then you have another team like the San Francisco Giants, and they're doing also really well, and they're selling out stadiums. And then you have them, their rivals. If you bring them together for a game, they have to play each other. That will sell completely out. If they're having a good season, they're having a good season. They're both selling out. When they come together to fight, they're selling out, or to play each other. I mean, so that's kind of how it works with films as well. You build a fan following that's loyal, and then you bring those fans from different fan followings together, and then you're selling a lot of tickets. And that's what they want to do. They want to sell tickets. So that's pretty much what I was thinking. I agree. There's going to be a lot of those. There's plenty of stuff that isn't crossing over, and that's fine. That's completely fine. In fact, I would not mind if there was some of these properties from superheroes that just stayed on their own. I would like to see the Power Rangers continue to do more things on their own. I don't think they need to cross over with too much. There was recently a Boom Studios. Oh, I was going to do a video about this too. I can't remember where the article is, so maybe I'll do a separate one later this week. I'll mention it briefly here, and then I'll show you guys. Boom Studios now has a contract with Netflix, a deal for a live action show and an animated series. I believe this will be probably a live action version of one of their random comics, and then I think the animated version will be an animated Power Rangers show that's going to kick some serious butt. And I'm not sure what generation they're going to do. It's likely they may start with the original cast and crew of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and do a animated series for the Mighty Morphin. But to me, it wouldn't matter what series they do. They might even come up with a new one altogether just for the animated. And but I believe that's probably what's going to happen. That's a speculation, guys. So that's not what was confirmed. What was confirmed only was that Boom Studios and Netflix will be doing a live action of one of their properties and an animated of one of their properties, TV series for both. So really exciting, but that was my speculation, and my hope was that it would be Power Rangers. So anyways, Daniel's Hot Topic says, I really hope they bring back Eric Bana's Hulk from the Ang Lee universe in the multiverse of madness. I know people did not like that universe very much, but I thought it was cool. I like that one, the Eric Bana one. Eric Bana, that was the one where they had the Hulk dogs, right? That one I really liked. Me and my brother watched that one so much growing up. Not as much as the Lou Ferrigno one though. I genuinely think that the best Hulk we've ever gotten, ever, including the MCU Hulks, has been by far Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno, because the stories, although it was a little bit older, they were working within their budget, their means, low CGI, very high physical prosthetics and makeup and that sort of thing. It was still the most compelling because they wrote stories that were designed to be tragic. They wrote tragedy stories for the Hulk, and that's what the Hulk is. The Hulk is a tragedy. It's the tragedy of the lonely man, and very few of the other Hulks have gotten that right. It's ashamed to see how few were doing that. And I know that Edward Norton's Hulk, when it was being written, they wanted to cover the tragedy of the Hulk. They wanted to show that it was a darker thing. It was not something to be celebrated that he was hulking out. It was tragic. He lost family members, loved ones, friends, colleagues. People were dying, and that was kind of the thing. It was more of a Jekyll and Hyde story than it was a superhero tale, even though there was an innocence to it. And that's what I think personally. I would like to see them do something. If they're going to do anything with the Hulk, they need to do something that shows that it is devastating, that it is a tragedy. They can't keep using him as comic relief. If you use him as comic relief, no one's going to take him seriously. First of all, people are not going to buy those toys. It doesn't matter to people. What matters to people, like people buy the Captain America toys because they're inspired by him. People buy the Iron Man ones because they love him, because he's a compelling character. He is funny. There is plenty of comic relief. I don't have anything negative to say about comic relief. Just that I think Hulk is the wrong character for that. Thor works really nicely to have some comic relief because you can play off of his his medieval nature, and it's kind of like have at thee, and that sort of thing it's slightly comical. There's plenty of room for that. Iron Man's great for comedy because he's very quick-witted, he's very sarcastic, cold cutting, witty, that sort of thing. That works really nicely. I think Hulk is a misplaced character in the MCU and has been for some time. I would like to see them, like was said earlier by Mark Ruffalo, tell a tale that's actually about the Hulk. Tell a tale that's very different about his time when he's not the comic relief for the team. He doesn't need to be part of a team. It's quite rare that Hulk has ever been a functional member of an Avengers team. In fact, I think the first time it ever caught on was really in the MCU. So anyway, I could rant about this for days. Let me wrap up the comments and then I gotta go because it's late. All right, so it says here, me and Jacob, the Galaxy Man Show channel, love Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and we are big fans. And then says, oh, dude, I am too. I love Power Rangers, dude, so much. Jason David Frank is like my all-time favorite. I love that guy. He's a hero to me. And I'm just big fan. I had all the toys growing up, like costumes and stuff. I don't know if you know who Colin Bass is, but he's doing all the he's doing a lot of the shows like First Ninja and a couple of other live action Power Rangers type TV shows on his YouTube channel, and for Nerdbot, I believe. He does the Reverse Flash Origins. He's doing tons of projects right now. Really great guy. Check out that. I'll send you a link down below. I did an interview for him too. You can find that on my channel. But he's doing some really cool fan-made Power Rangers TV shows. Really sick. Check it out. And then Daniel Saw Topic says General Ross will take the Red Hulk formula in the Black Widow movie, I hear. I sure hope so. It's about freaking time that we get the Thunderbolts going, because Red Hulk will lead to the Thunderbolts. We already have Winter Soldier. We already have Baron Zemo. Technically speaking, Hawkeye could be Clint Barton if they want him to. But, I mean, they could choose to adapt the Netflix characters into the MCU at any point they wish, if they should choose to do so. And if they do so, they have Wilson Bethel, who is Bullseye. They could transition him to be the new Hawkeye if they want to, and have him be that darker Hawkeye, or just Bullseye in the Thunderbolts. Like, there's plenty of characters they could use. Punisher, lots and lots of characters. So I'm super excited. General Ross has been in like 6 movies or something like that at this point. Just make it happen. Red Hulk and then Thunderbolts. Let's go. So, all right, guys, that's all for today. I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for joining my channel and for being a part of the Stuff of Legend. You guys really are the best. I'm so grateful to have you guys here. And if you guys would not mind, I would love to show you guys just a couple of things. Oh, wait, hold on one second. Couple of things before we go. So before we go, I wanted to see Let me see. It looks like something went wrong. Oh no. There we go. All right, so this is my TeePublic website. If you guys didn't know how to get here, it's linked down below. I know right now, like, you know, non-essential jobs are not able to continue working, and right now my current employer is taking care of me. I'm really appreciating what they're doing, but it is limited. There's plenty that, you know, my family does still need. If you guys wouldn't mind, and if you guys do enjoy a good t-shirt or a mug or a hat, or I'm sorry, not a hat, but like a tank top or a handbag, like one of those handbags, a totes. There's plenty of apparel here, kids apparel, wall art, pillows, tapestries, phone cases, pins, stickers, lots of things. If you guys like Scott Adkins Batman, the Snyder Cut, I've got tons of these things. Check it out. And also other people like Nerdy Blurb TV, AJ Reacts too. They've got plenty of these things as well. But that's how you can support people like us who are content creators who don't have 1,000 subscribers and can't make AdSense. If you wouldn't mind, check out our stuff right here. If you guys like Power Rangers designs, you can get these. It'll ship right to your door. It's handled by TeePublic. So I don't have any of these products in store in my house or any of that. So it just comes straight from them to you, but I get a cut because I'm the artist. So I did these designs here for all of these Power Rangers helmets so that you can check out your favorite Power Rangers and you can get a nice t-shirt or sticker or whatever with your favorite characters on them. So if you wouldn't mind, check those out. That helped me out a lot, and I really appreciate it. And if you post about it and you tag me in it and you use the hashtag TSOL merch, as in the Stuff of Legend merch, then I will repost your thing, and I will personally thank you for supporting my channel. And you guys rock, so you're the best. That's all I wanted to say. Really appreciate you guys. And please remember to subscribe, like this video, share it, comment, and tune in next time. So I will be making more videos, much more videos in the days coming. I'm also still working on getting the Fan Casting Summit video up. During this time with the coronavirus, I had to cancel my Adobe suite for a temporary, you know, just taking a temporary break, trying to cut down on expenses so we can save money, get through these times, which is also why I'm plugging the t-shirts more than I usually do. But that being said, I was considering going live and doing a live fan casting summit. Those are very long events. Usually over 2 hours is usually the length of time that it takes. I can maybe get it done in an hour and a half if I hustle, but it would be fun to spend that time just hanging out with you guys, getting your reactions to certain actors for certain roles. And I just wanted to hear from you whether or not you thought that was a fun idea. Let me know, thumbs up or thumbs down to doing a live run of the Fan Casting Summit 8. So that is all I wanted to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more right here on The Stuff of Legend.
Hey guys, D-Lo here. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And remember to share this video with all of your nerd friends. I know you got them, and you know who they are. Leave a comment below and let me know what you thought about this discussion. Let me know what you would like to see me do a video on next. Subscribe to the channel because you're a legend, and we have that in common. Also be sure to turn on notifications to be notified right away when I upload my next video, or so that you can be alerted when I go live next time. That way you'll never miss a thing. Check out the other videos on the channel so that we can have a discussion on all your favorite movies and TV topics. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for more right here on The Stuff of Legend.